At Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, we believe in spiritual living. Above all else, it is a philosophy that teaches us how to think and not what to think. We invite everyone to practice this philosophy by living in principle. We believe that God is all there is, and each person's relationship to God is a personal one. Every person, place, and thing, and all the space in between is not only an expression of God, but God itself. All love, peace, and beauty that is God exists within each person right now. Together we are all connected as one. Our faith allows us to apply this philosophy to our lives in every moment of every day. As we live in love, we see love revealed and flowing through the world around us. We act as citizens of the spiritual community at all times. This is how we think. We believe in God, we believe in ourselves, and we believe in you because we believe in spiritual living. We are the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday morning. I'm Evonne Fowler, and I'm one of the practitioners here. And I want to welcome you, those of you who are online, and those of you who are here in person. So if there's any first-time guests, there's a welcome packet right in the back of the room, over here on my left. And you're welcome to pick that up. And then if you have any questions, you can just call any of us, and we can help you through anything. After service, we also have fellowship and meals in the Carter Hall. So please stay after service and join us for food. And if you'll just take a few minutes now to make sure your cell phone is on silence. We have a vision statement, and I'd like to have us all read it together. Ready? CSLB is an inclusive and transformative community of spiritual practice. Okay. The first announcement is about the Good Grief group. And it's in the sanctuary here, and it's on Thursdays afternoon from 1 to 1:30, and it's with Dr. Reverend Michael, and it's for any kind of a loss, or anything you need, or even the loneliness that we've been talking about. So if you feel like you have a need for that, do come on Thursdays, because it's all inclusive, and it's private and it's personal, but it can sure help. And then we have a class coming up, and that's Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. And that's going to be taught by Adrian here, and that's on April 20th from 10 to 1. And you can get all the particulars you want. There's a handout back there. But there is a tuition for the class, and that's $110. But do talk to Adrian if you're interested in that class. And then the next class that we're doing right now is Prosperity Plus. And it just is a fabulous class. It's taught by Mary Morrissey. She's a reverend, and it's done on tape. But then we discuss the meaning of what she's talking about during the class. And there is a way to think about unexpected income, and it's a fabulous class. And we can still come to the class if you like. So that's open, and that's on Wednesdays from 1:30 to 3:30. So let me know if you're interested. And then we have the Women of Wisdom is coming back together again. We did it for a few years ago, but it's coming back. And Judy Garth and Betty are going to be facilitators for that. So if you're interested in joining, and if you'd like to help, get a hold of one of them and let them know. This will be a meeting after, there will be a meeting Sunday, the 24th in the sanctuary. Is that today? That's today. So anybody that's interested, stay here in the sanctuary and talk to Judy, okay? If you have any questions, we'll straighten it out. And next Sunday, we're having an Easter potluck lunch. So there's going to be ham and turkey and beef. That's going to be provided. And if you would like to bring a side salad, a side vegetables, or desserts, please add your name to the sign-up sheet. And the sign-up sheet is over here, okay? So just look at it and then write down what you want to bring so that we have lots of food and everybody's involved. Then there's, on April 7th, it's called a Wounds to Wings seminar. And that's going to be after church here, and it's from 11:15 to 12 o'clock with a Southwestern theme for lunch. And it's going to be something new here, and the speaker is famous and exciting. So I hope that you will attend that class, and that's after church on April 7th, okay? And then join us. Oh, well, let me finish that. It's a CSLB Rainbow Alliance group, and it's Conscious Conversations. And so this is something that is new to us, but it's something that's going to be an affirmative principles of science of mind that we get to learn about. So please plan on staying for that. And on April 13th and 14th is the weekend of our boutique, but it's really going to be a yard sale. You know how it always grows a little bit more than you think. So it's going to be, there's a sign-up sheet over here, and we do need help. And we're going to have it on Friday. We're going to have you bring your things, your donations. And what I've asked for is if you're bringing clothes, to have them, you know, nicely folded and on hangers for the clothes that can be on hangers so that there's not a lot of prep time in the beginning. But that's one thing. So we need people to help us on Friday. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we'll have it set up outside here. And we need somebody to help set up. We need somebody to sell. And we need somebody to take down. So if you'll look at the list over here, and if you could only give us a couple of hours, that would be fine. But you know, it's a community thing, and maybe the more involved we get, the more we'll feel good about what we do. And it's a money raiser. It's our one of our big money raisers. We have lunch in Carter Hall after this service.
Did you do the opening song? I need to put that in here. Our music.
Should we do this first?
No, we'll do that afterwards.
Okay.
We'll do that afterwards. Let's try to get some energy in this room. This is actually really cool. He came out with this last year. He decided he just wanted to record it and do kind of a live concert with it. I feel like you're not getting audio either.
God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There is only one holy substance flowing in and throughout creation, and right here in this very moment we are an expression of it. We are a beloved expression, born of perfection. Let's raise our hands and celebrate because we know there's only one life. That life is God's life now. life now.
life is good.
That life is perfect.
That life is my life.
That life is your life now. There is only one holy substance flowing in and throughout creation. And right here in this very moment, you are an expression of it. You are a beloved expression, born of perfection. So raise your hands and celebrate because you know there's only one life.
Life is God's
That life is God's life now.
life is good.
And that life is perfect.
That life is my life.
That life is my life now. There's only one life.
That life is God's
That life is God's life now. And that life is perfect.
That life is my life.
That life is your life now. There's only one life.
That life is God's
That life is God's life now.
life is good.
That life is perfect.
That life is my life.
That life is my life now. There's only one life.
That life is God's
That life is God's life now.
life is good.
And that life is perfect.
That life is my life.
One.
Eddie Watkins. He was here a few years ago, and he is one of the main musicians for the Center for Spiritual Living, and he was at our conference last, when was it? February. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. It's fabulous, and we're so lucky to have his music with us. And those words, again, they sort of fit the oneness, one perfect God, perfect life, perfect me, perfect being. If you'll just take a minute and know that we are that perfect being, but our human parts do have conditions and situations. And so if there's anything that you need prayer for, if you'll just want to come over here to this side of the sanctuary after service, the practitioners will be available to give you a 2-minute miracle. Okay. So, the candle. Well, there's lots going on in this world. And we want, again, to think about world peace and whatever we can do for that. One thought vibrating for goodness, for healing, for peace, for everyone in the world. So right here and right now, in this place, God is. God is in us as us. We're all one. One of God's disciples, one of God's vehicles for expression, one of love. I know that for all of us, and we are so blessed. We bless the musicians, we bless the music, because that's a part of our service. We listen to the words, we bring them in, we have feeling. We bless the speaker, and today our speaker is Adrian. And Adrian also is that vehicle of expression of God. And he's going to be talking about exactly. And as I know, the words will be what we need to hear. And so it is.
I think that means it's my turn. We skipped we had good centering moment before that. We're all good, I think. So my talk today is about exactly, which I chose as a title because I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about. But the song afterwards is called Exactly, so it works out. It's like, whatever. So, why do we do the things that we do? We're spiritual practitioners, all of us. You don't have to put a capital on it to be a spiritual practitioner. We do things that are practices that are spiritual. So we're all spiritual practitioners. But why do we do the things that we do? As you're going about your daily business, and I think I've talked about this one before, as you're going about your daily business and doing your thing, there's all this static noise. Things happen, stuff happens, somebody cuts you off, somebody's rude to you at the supermarket, you're trying to get in line and somebody like cuts in front of you, whatever. This is all static noise. And all of this stuff interferes with our spiritual practices. They're things that we fill our mind with that distract us from truth. So, meditation. What is meditation good for? Meditation is good for, I think I'm a little loud there, dude. Meditation is good for cooling ourselves off, aligning our minds with truth, with peace, with love, with all that other stuff. Meditation is a way of realigning yourself in the long term with the things that you truly believe and want in the world. Ernest Holmes said, "The general acceptance of the word meditation is contemplation or continuous thought. We mean to convey something more, the recognition of the Father within, the certainty of our oneness and with the whole, the immediate availability of the power and wisdom resulting from this oneness. Such communion with God brings harmony into our lives and affairs, establishes the law of health and prosperity, and makes us a light to all who cross our pathway." This is from Science of Mind, page 609. And really what he's saying is, we are Jell-O, and meditation is the mold. We want to be able to fit into that mold, but as long as we're rigid, we're not going to. It's not going to work. So meditation, of course, is the spiritual practice that we use to kind of to liquefy ourselves for the mold. And then comes the lack in faith and possibility. We all want things out of life that we limit ourselves into believing we can't. I've heard several times people talk about being an artist. Oh, I'm not an artist. I can't draw. I can't paint. My drawings are all terrible. I just doodle. All of those things are bypasses. We are all capable of taking a pen and a piece of paper and making something that looks like something. So we're all artists, every last one of us. But we're limiting ourselves. We can't get better. Why can't we get better? Because we don't believe we can. We cannot, or we do not allow ourselves to build the mental image in our mind of us doing something successfully. That's where the word can't comes in. We can't do that. I can't get a new car. I don't have the money. So visioning. Ernest Holmes said, Science of Mind, page 442. He that receiveth, give me a second, this is going to be difficult. He that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward. And he that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. There comes to each the logical and exact result of his own receptivity. To each, life brings the reward of his own visioning. To the pure, all is pure. To the righteous, all is righteous, and to the good, all is good. The reward of merit is an objective outcome of merit itself and not a thing superimposed by any divine mandate. Each man is rewarded not for virtue, but through virtue. And what this means is literally, as you believe it to be true, so it is. This kind of goes right back into that whole can't thing. If you can't see it, if you can't believe it, if you can't hold it in your mind, it ain't gonna happen. Period. Because you built that wall. We don't need to build walls in our lives. That's one of the things that we teach here in the Centers for Spiritual Living. We are capable of way more than we know. And a lot of people, when they get to that point where they realize that they're the one standing in the way, they still balk at moving forward because they're afraid that it'll become too much work if they succeed. God made your shoulders. I think you'll be fine. So what you need to do is, you need to vision. Visioning is for this purpose. The whole purpose of visioning is to build up your imagination muscle. To take that muscle that God gave you, it's the whole world that you can build in visioning. That's the point of visioning. You can take anything that you believe is not possible and you can put it in there and imagine it actually happening, and all of a sudden your definition of possible changes forever. I can draw. I can paint. I painted a tree with my daughter the other day. A couple of years ago, I couldn't paint a tree. Not because I couldn't paint a tree, but because I believed I couldn't paint a tree. It was a good looking tree too. I was rather proud of it. So, visioning. Here's another one. My words aren't working. We constantly walk around utilizing words in ways that they either weren't meant to be used or as a way to, I don't want to say it's deliberate because most of us just automatically do it, but as a way of limiting ourselves. So, there's a spiritual practice called contemplation. Contemplation doesn't get a lot of airing in the centers. Not sure why, but it's a thing. Contemplation is when you take a word, concept, idea, and you prepare a visioning just for it. You close your eyes. It's kind of like a cross between visioning and meditation. You close your eyes, say the concept of yes. You close your eyes and you take that word and you envision that word, yes, and you think about it. You turn it around. You try to figure out what it really means. We're constantly doing this in our language. I'm sure everybody here has had a moment where they saw a word on a page or they said a word, and even though they've used it their whole life, it sounds alien. You're like, wow, that was weird. Why does that word sound so weird all of a sudden? The reason is because you've been contemplating it lately and you just didn't realize it. You have come into a new understanding and realization of what that word means. When you hear yourself going throughout your day and using specific words over and over again, start paying attention because those words are usually the things that are causing you to stop and can't. You need to figure out these words. You need to contemplate them and truly understand them. You may want to stop using them, but you got to contemplate it first. You have to truly understand it in order to move forward in it. This is change your thinking, change your life. It's not just a catchphrase. It's literally, how are you thinking about something? And what is it that you can do to make it so that it moves in a positive direction towards what you want, what you need, what you feel like is important to you. Contemplation, that's what that's for. Ernest Holmes said, page 436, Science of Mind, he said, we are to know the truth by its fruits. The certain estimate of reality is ever evidenced by its worth in actual living. We are not to separate life from living, nor God from his creation. One is the cause, the other is the effect. The invisible things of God are manifested through the visible. And unless the invisible thought and desire of man is in line with truth, his acts will fall into error. While we are told not to judge, we are clearly warned not to fall under the illusion of accepting the false for the true. That's why contemplation is so important. Because you use a word, concept, an idea, and in using it incorrectly, you end up blocking your own self, your own spiritual forwardness. All of this that I'm going over, all these things have to do with prayer and the words that you say and think and believe throughout your day. If you don't utilize these tools, you will find yourself falling into the patterns that didn't work before. Here's another one. Gratitude is hard. Thanksgiving with every breath. Now, I'm going to throw a curveball. Last year, I lost my truck, I called it, my beautiful red car. I loved that red car. I got destroyed getting out of the hurricane that happened. Was it August of last year? I did not realize at the time, but I'm thankful now, that car and the way of life that I was living was so beholden to debt and lack and limitation. Yes, I had the flashy car. I made money, but I had to work 10 to 12 hours a day to pay for it. And that was just to pay for the car. And that's not even the insurance on top of it all. It was driving me nuts. I was spiraling downward. And in order for me to come to terms with the fact that it was okay, I had to learn why I lost the car. I'm thankful and grateful now that I lost that car, because it showed me a life where I'm not struggling. I didn't need to be struggling. It was unnecessary. But because I was holding on to all this and thinking that that was an important thing, I didn't want to let it go. It just got to the point where God said, you know what? Let's just get rid of that. It's gone. So being grateful, kind of like talking to God, is not something you do just when things are going well. Being grateful is something that you do when it seems like things are not going well. Because in those moments are the lessons that we take forward into the moments when things are going well. We need to learn from the negatives of our life. And that's how we turn them into a positive. The spiritual practice in this is called gratitude. And anybody who's taken more than one class here knows that gratitude is a very important part of what we do. We need to, all of us need to, be grateful for our life, for the people who came, for everything, even the negatives, the losses, the moving on. I am grateful for the 18 years I had with my now ex-wife. She was wonderful. It was a wonderful time in my life. We needed to move on. I'm grateful that she stood up and said, we need to move on. It hurt, but my gratitude made me able to see it in such a way that it's lessons for me and my daughter to bring into the future. These are important. Gratitude. So gratitude is a spiritual practice. Ernest Holmes said, Science of Mind, page 637. It has been said that the prayer of thanksgiving is the prayer of appropriation. This was the manner in which Jesus' prayer, when he raised Lazarus from the tomb, Father, I thank thee. Recognition, unification, and realization are 3 steps in prayer or treatment, as Evonne was saying during her meditation. When we speak the words of thanksgiving to God within, knowing before they ask, I will answer, there is something in this attitude of thanksgiving that carries us beyond the field of doubt into one of perfect faith and acceptance, receptivity, and realization. Appreciation, gratitude, and thanksgiving are the motive power which attracts and magnifies the hidden potentialities of life. Which means that in putting yourself in a state of thanksgiving, of gratitude, God has a new route to give you more. That's important. You can't fill an empty closet. So you empty the closet of all the negative, and you just fill it with gratitude, thanksgiving. we all live in a world where we're alive. Be grateful. Lack and limitation. We're all in the top of the creative process, and so we are the creators of thought that moves through the law into reality. This is the whole point of this. Prayer. Most of us only pray sometimes. We pray when something goes wrong. We pray when we are actively, consciously praying only when we need something. This kind of wraps into the gratitude too. Every word you say in a world that is completely filled and is made of God is a prayer. Every word. You wake up in the morning and the sun's not out and it's all murky outside like it is right now. Oh, not another overcast, rainy day. How do you think the universe, the law, which hears every word you say, is going to put that into motion? So when you say a word, any word, you say a sentence, you act out towards the world, the law is working upon what you say. So prayer, at least as we teach it, is not just the moment when we're putting words into the law. It's a reminder for what to think between the times we're praying. All of our words are a prayer at all times. We just go into formal prayer to remind ourselves of that. In Science of Mind, page 431, Ernest Holmes said, "The secret of prayer and its power in the outward life depends upon an unconditional faith in and reliance upon this inner presence. We must enter the closet. That is, we are to shut out all else and enter the presence of Spirit in quietness and confidence, believing. Prayer has power, not through repetition, but by belief and acceptance. Prayer is to be simple, direct, and receiving. We are to believe that God will provide for and bless us abundantly. And when we enter this secret place, we are to leave all else behind, all hate, animosity, and vindictiveness. For only in so doing can we enter." So we have meditation, visiting, contemplation, and gratitude, and then prayer. All of these spiritual practices are to get us to the point where we know and trust that God's got this. Prayer does not treat God. We don't do treatments for God. God already knows what you think. God already knows what's right. God already knows what is the proper order of the universe. It's us that are being treated. We are the focus of treatment. We are the mind that needs to be realigned with the truth. We are the ones who need to center ourselves, meditate, contemplate on the words and thoughts and actions that we enter into, vision for exactly what it is that we're looking for or want, get rid of all the clutter so that when we pray, which is every word we say and every thought we think, it is the right alignment for us. The whole purpose of all of our spiritual practices is to get us to the point where whatever water it is we want to walk over, we can. Whatever job we want, whatever relationship we need, we are the ones who can put ourselves into that place. That's the whole free will thing that all the major books of the last several thousand years talk about. That's the free will. You choose. You're like, do I want to live a life where I'm constantly running through a maze of walls that I put in place? Or do I want all those illusionary walls to just disappear so I can see the path before me towards my goal? Or more importantly, God's goal. You can either walk it, or you can be fighting your way through it. It's up to you. Me, personally, that's why I'm here. I like it. I'm going to go with it. Every time I have one of these talks, it's like a talk where I'm talking to myself. I'm like, look here, Adrian. This is for you. Knowing and trusting that you are in that space you need to be in to move forward does not depend on what is happening around you. It doesn't depend on the people near you, nor the circumstances or events unfolding outside of you. It depends on your inner self, beliefs, words, ideas, and thoughts. The only things you can actually change. Everything else flows from that through the media of law and into reality. Everyone is their own cheerleader and their own detractor. It doesn't matter what somebody else says to you. I can be talking here for hours and hours on end, but until you take these spiritual practices and these words, this wisdom from all these fantastic books, the Bible, the Quran, you name it, and internalize them and build that practice, that real-time, real-world practice inside yourself, you're not going to get anywhere. That's why we have all these wonderful practices. You know, I didn't even put it in here, but there's another spiritual practice I forgot to write in here. It's called centering. Centering is the quick and easy and dirty way to get towards a sense of peace, a little spot of peace. And that's something that you can practice and get yourself into, just, how many people meditate here? There's a few. Imagine that at any time of the day, you can, by saying a word, doing an action, an arm movement, or just deciding to do it, you can drop into that peacefulness that you get into meditation, right? That's what centering is for. Centering is, I use this. That's my action. And when I do that, I'll do that on the freeway. I'll do that in tense situations. I'll do that when I have some crazy thought enter my head. Did I turn off the oven? All that fun stuff. I will do that. I'll close my eyes, take a deep breath, release. And because I've been doing it for so long now, I think I've been doing that for about 4 years, it's instantaneous. All of a sudden, out of the blue, my heart rate goes down, my tension in my shoulders goes down, I've had headaches disappear, because almost all those things are caused by stress. Where's the stress coming from? It's from inside you. You're doing it to yourself, right? There's a couple of things I didn't even go over in here. Meditation, one of the things meditation, it's been proven, meditation causes your blood pressure to drop. That's kind of cool, It causes, people who meditate are substantially less likely to have a heart attack. Sounds like a cool benefit, side benefit there. Same thing with centering. Centering is something that you can utilize throughout your day when you get stressed, or when something freaked out, or something happens and it scares you, and you need to drop all that. You need to go back into that space where there's a little peace. It's quiet. Remember all the noise. There's all this noise out there. All things happening, and trees falling over, and bombs blasting, and horns honking, and it doesn't matter where you are. Things are happening that cause stress in us, that we stress over. We hear in our head, and we think about, and we fear. And so we build all these spiritual practices to deal with all this stuff, to remind ourselves that, it was the one that was up there before, that for one thing, we're one. We're one. God's in us, out of us. It's all around us. God doesn't stop existing just because we're stressed or frustrated. So we work on all these throughout our lives. And the more you do these things, the more you make them part of your daily life, the happier you're going to be. And the more likely God's law is going to work through them. Say you pray for a new house. You want a new house, right? So you get with a practitioner and you do a treatment for a new house. You're like, I got to have more living space. I got to have it. And then you go home to the place you're living now. And you keep having these recurring thoughts of, it's never going to happen. I'm not going to get the house I want. I'm not going to have enough room. Nobody's going to help me move. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, what was that, 5? You got a prayer, which is a thought. That's 1. And then you got 5 negatives. Which one's going to win? That's what the spiritual practices are for. So get rid of those 5. We don't want those anymore. You're piling everything up against yourself. You keep adding things on to the negative, which outweighs the positive. Not because negative is real, but because that's what you're focused on. Stop. How on earth are we going to create a world that works for everyone if we don't believe that it works for us? So we do these practices. We do these practices every day. Right? We do these every day? Everybody? I'm not hearing a whole lot of yays out here, but that's all right. We're all, work in progress, right? It's kind of like exercise, I'm big guy, but I do some exercise. I do some exercise at my family's house, my parents' house. They live just down the street here. We play hacky sack and stuff like that, and I do lots of different other things because I got stairs in my apartment. I live on the 2nd floor. And it is one of the scariest flights of stairs you've ever been up to. I mean, they're like homemade, and they're well wiggly, and they're sloped, and people who go up to my apartment, they're terrified. But I want to be able to walk up those stairs and see my cat, every day. So I do exercise. I do exercise so that I can keep my legs spry, so I can keep moving and whatnot. It's the same thing with your spiritual practices. You want to keep yourself spry mentally. You want to be able to encounter life sanely. Because when you encounter life insanely, you're praying insanely. Simple. So that's what we do. So know that you are right now, physically, exactly where you want to be. Mentally, exactly where you want to be. And all you need to do is build these tools into your life so that whatever it is you want to do from this point forward is going in the direction that you need. Thank you. Go ahead and close our eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. Center ourselves. That God thing is all around us, in us, through us, each and every person here, enfolded in God's embrace. There's no person, place, or thing where God does not exist. God is in each one of the words that we say, the sounds that we hear. God is everywhere. And God is that love of life. God is that love of self. God is all the knowledge, future and past, very present. God knows everything. We are that one life. We are that one God. I am knowing and trusting. I am here now in that godliness, knowing and trusting each and everything, and that everything is available to me here and now in this very moment. I am knowing and trusting that every word I say will be revealed to me so that I can make the proper choice and understanding of each and every one of those words. And I know this for myself. I know this for each and every person here. online, in person, doesn't matter. I'm knowing and trusting that that clarity that God brings is available to each and every person to see and hear and know the words that they say and use, the words that build the foundation of how they see the world. I'm knowing and trusting that that is clear to each and every person, and that as each word becomes clear, that each person is able to build a more, better, perfect knowledge of their self, so that they can help build that more perfect world. That each and every thought is examined and understood by each and every person here, and that their center becomes that much easier to enter into, and that their meditation brings them ever closer to that point where their words create that perfect world for them. I'm knowing and trusting all of this true and more, and I'm so grateful for these truths. I'm so grateful for these spiritual practices. I'm so grateful for these paths that God has given us to completely realign ourselves with truth. I'm so grateful for this and more. And together let us release these words into the perfect action and order of the law, knowing it already be true, whole, and complete, by saying together and affirming, and so it is.
exactly what you see. If you are paying attention, you will now begin ascension of the mind. Why? Because if you look at me just right, you will see a kiss. For it took a kiss to make this breath exist. The intersection of my mother's and father's lips to touch, twist, perfect what came next to produce me. As look at me and you will see the breeze. The breeze it took to shake the leaves to make my mother's hair move. My father dare touch it and say, please may I have a kiss. Yes, the breeze made me exist. And if you want to get even deeper into this right now, you will look at me and see a big old cloud. That's right, the cloud it took to form the storm, to make the breeze, to shake the leaves, to inspire the lip lock. Yes, a raindrop will pop up out these words. You heard me right. If you look at me close enough, you will see a dark, stormy night. And what is night? Well, night ain't night without a polar opposite of sunlight. So if you watch the way my hands sway, you'll see the light of day. And every day is a testament to the sediment of the earth's pores, ever spinning enormous force. So when you look at me just right, you'll see a spark of the source. But the most fascinating thing about this, and it's true, is that if you look at me just right, you see you. Only what you perceive, how you believe, the space between you and me that creates reality. So when I sing, you can feel it. When I cry, you can heal it. When I speak words, you can be the words I speak by singing with me. Peace, love, free. 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 And when I try to fight or run, I only wind up back at square one. And when I think I know what's best for me, fate, she takes me back to exactly where I need to be. And when I am alone and full of fear, I just remember the rising sun always appears, and every day miracles, miracles that I see. Will you take me back? You take me back, you take me back, you take me back to exactly where I need to.
I want her to come back sometime. She is fantastic. That was another musician we've had here, Amy Steinberg. It's that time of the service when we all enter into our gratitude phase, joyful giving. You can give using our website at cslbeaumont.org, or you can text to give at 951-420-6909. If you give online or you do not have a gift to give today, just bless the offering basket as it passes by. Ushers, please come forward, and practitioners, if you don't mind, as we read our abundance affirmation. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is.
Everything, thank you, God, for everything. 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 Thank you, God, for everything.
Well, before we close out the service, one of our practitioners, Evonne Fowler, decided to hand me a piece of paper and tell me to announce it, or she would. And I'm afeared, so I better just do as she says. There is a concert coming up in Hemet, and I am really jealous of this, because I would love to have her here, aside from the fact that I kind of have a crush on her. Her voice is amazing. Denise Rosier, on April 13th at 5 p.m. is going to be performing over there in the Hemet Center for Spiritual Living. And I think there was some more details. Wasn't there like a meal or something that went with that? No, it was just the $20. It's $20. Oh, and there's people who want a carpool. So since she decided to hand me the thing, the person who's going to deal with the carpool is Evonne Fowler. So go and bother her if you want to be part of the carpool to go out to the Denise Rosier concert. So it is the 13th a Sunday? I'm not sure. It's Saturday. It's a Saturday? Most people don't return to church at 5 p.m. on Sunday. They go. So it's a Saturday concert. It is that time in our service when we sadly must end the service. And what we usually do with our ending the service is we circle around the sanctuary and hold hands. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can just stay in your seat and we'll just sing to you. But either which way, let's all stand together, and we will be singing our closing song, which today I believe is Face of God, because that's what today's service is all about. are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Look to your left. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Now tell it to the person on the right. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Now to yourself. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. The only kid in the room. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Yay! All right, I think we got food back in here, and I'm sorry? Benediction. Oh, yes. Everybody repeat after me. I am the face of God.
I am the face of God.
My words are the words of God.
My words are the words of God.
God's words are my prayer.
God's words are my prayer.
And so it is.
I will make a quiet place within my mind, and I will wait upon the Lord. Wait.
Hush, little darling, don't you cry. Every little thing's gonna be alright. Don't worry, don't be afraid. Every little thing's gonna be okay. Open up your heart, unlock the cage. Turn the key and break the chains. Love will always find a way. If you want love, you gotta give